Hi everyone, I hope everyone's having a great weekend. I'm going to be going over my week 9 demo. So this week for the updates, I basically worked on organizing the repo as well as cleaning and documenting any code that I have. This is very important because if I was to actually pass on this application to a production setting, it's important that everything's organized, all relevant information to utilize the application is there and ready, as well as making sure that the code is clean so that if somebody was to try to go back and maybe change a few aspects of my code, they would exactly understand where everything is. I wanted to jump right into the prompt for this week. So when applying DevOps, responsible AI, and automation, there are a couple of key challenges as well as pros to utilizing these concepts. So for DevOps, the CI/CD pipeline, I think is very, very important to install those dependencies, format code, run backend tests, and building Docker images for my particular application. I think the main advantage of the CI/CD pipeline is that it automates a lot of processes, which speeds up the development process and gets you to actually deploy the application much quicker. When it comes to responsible AI, I think there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Number one, I think you have to comply with the privacy security, especially since my application is a healthcare application. It needs to be wary of PHI as well as the United States regulatory standards when it comes to using health information of individuals. And I think building transparency with the user is very important. So I think if I was to ever actually deploy this application, I would let everybody know what information was being used within the RAG system, as well as other small details that can improve the transparency between the development team as well as the actual individual that's using it. I think there also has to be some guardrails. In my current job, I'm using NVIDIA's NeMo guardrails. There are other packages and softwares out there, but it's important to have a guardrail system to block inappropriate language, as well as to mitigate any biases or stereotypes that the LLM inherently may have. Setting those guidelines or guardrails, I should say, um, right off the bat is very important to maintaining high ethical standards for the application. Automation is very important. And I think we kind of talked about this because it allows you to go through a bunch of processes really quick and build a streamlined application. Can also automate, the testing evaluation process, which is something that I'm kind of working on still. And it makes sure that the development process is running smoothly. Some of the challenges that I think I've run into is this is my first time really utilizing GitHub Actions for my CI/CD pipeline. So understanding the small fine details of how it works was very important for me to build a concrete CI/CD pipeline. Um, I think also what's important is understanding the architecture of your CI/CD pipeline. That can be a challenge. Understanding how to build it for your first time, I think was challenging for me. But I think after watching YouTube videos as well as going through other documentation, I was able to address this challenge by creating a good pipeline that does a plethora of things like mentioned here, such as installing dependencies, formatting code, backend tests, building Docker images, pushing them to GitHub, as well as Docker Hub. I think that's all I have for this week. Thank you.